most disturbing, most controversial films ever made was a little anti-war film by the name of Come and See. I want to say this film came out in the late 70s, perhaps early 80s, around that era. It follows the Nazis in World War II, and they're overtaking territories to gain power and dominance. And this in particular takes place in like a Russian village or something. And it mainly follows this boy who's about a teenager. I want to say he's about 13 or 14 years old. It starts off with him at home with his mother and his sister, and he comes home and he's ecstatic. He wants to go join this army to fight off these bad people, and he wants to be so cool, and he's gonna shoot and do all kinds of stuff and be such a man. Very, very excited and very giddy about this. His mother and his sister, of course, are very fearful and very against this because he's still a kid. But the army actually comes around to his house eventually, and they take the kid with them to join the army because they need all the manpower they can get to help fight these bad people. And you see, the mother sobbing and the sister and all that good stuff. And he eventually goes off with them, leaving them behind. And they go to an army base where there's all these men that are also soldiers. And there's several women who cook, clean, do medical aid, are entertainment, etc. Very normal army base type things. And he's still very excited because he has not seen anything yet. And you see the way the generals and the people in charge are talking to him, and he's like, it's not like that. It's not cool. And he's just, not getting it because he's a child. And for some reason, they get called to go fight a threat, and they leave behind this boy, and one of the girls stays behind as well. I don't recall what happened there, but for some reason they get left behind. And while the other soldiers are all fighting this threat, they actually start getting attacked at the base. And it's just this guy and this girl there. They somehow survive this attack and everything, and they become extremely close after this. I mean, they just survive death together. And after the attack, he looks over at her and he's like, my mother is absolutely gonna love you. You can stay with me. We'll go get some hot food, some water, a shower. It's gonna be great. We're gonna go do this. So they actually go back to his village and they find his house, and they don't realize it at the time, but they go inside and I want to say they maybe take a nap and eat some food. But then they realize that everyone in the village is gone. They're either piled up outside or just gone. And they eventually, get very upset by this and run away, not knowing when the bad guy is going to come back. And they eventually find a group of survivors across a little body of water. And they're all hiding for survival, and everyone is really hurt. They're hungry, they're thirsty. Some people are dying, they're wounded, etc. Very bad situation. They stay for about a day or two, and then a group of boys are like, these people are gonna have to eat. We're gonna starve over here. So I want to say about 4 guys get together, and this teenage boy goes along with them, and they're gonna go on a mission to go find some food and maybe some medical aid, stuff like that. They don't realize how bad it is. So they make their way out, and they're very hopeful and everything, and it goes very badly. They don't really find any food. They don't find them any aid at all. So a lot of them end up gone. There's a couple of survivors, and they actually get caught by the bad people, and they get thrown into this town full of survivors, and they're all being mistreated, and it's just a really, really bad situation. And it leads up to this church scene, which is honestly the most memorable scene you'll ever see in your life. They all start piling all these people into this tiny church, and it's horrific. You see babies being tossed in there. You see the elderly being in there. Everyone's screaming. Everyone is so scared. I won't give it away with what exactly they do, but it's horrific. And the boy and a few other people are outside of the church watching this take place. And, you know, they have like guns and stuff to their heads, so they can't help or do anything. You will see some SA, some of the R words, so massive trigger warning if you can't watch that stuff. It is very realistic of what goes on during a war and why we do not want this. You even see a scene of a very elderly lady who very apparently doesn't know where she is or what her name is, and they just leave her out in the cold to die. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole movie. It's very sad, it's very depressing. It's a lot better than the way that I'm expressing it right now. I really believe that everyone should have to watch this film. It's very important. It's a very hard watch though, but definitely significant. But I guess the overall thing at the very end is you see the boy's face. His transformation is incredible. He goes from like this naive, giddy little schoolboy to like this hardened 60-year-old war vet. And I want to say this takes place over the course of just a few days. And the massive difference even in his face is insane. So come and see. You should definitely watch it.